This is Tom.
Okay.
I
Now,
just took this off my phone. Maybe this will.
what'd you do?
I'm going to do it on my phone because I think my home bandwidth is crap.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like my internet's broke. I'm going to call Al Gore to fix it.
Perfect. Okay. That's cool. I got this recording now, so keep your phone like right about that area
All right.
if you can.
I'll do my best. If I think it's good that we just started the call and it's hey, how are you? I'm going to use Skype now, but let's keep it going because I don't want to edit this. I want to make sure that people know that what we're talking about is like right off the top of our heads because that's important with all the fully produced, stuff out there
Yeah.
that half experts, the whole bit.
Polished and shined, real nice.
So why are we here, Mr. Kemsky?
We're here to find out who you are, Mr. Bell. Who are you? Tell me about you. We're here to talk about some 18 and 18 program, some fancy thing about selling books. It sounds pretty cool that a lot of people are interested in, including me.
Yeah, don't say program. We'll scare people off.
Program.
So before we go, you almost can't do a call like this without, pointing out how we met. I want to give you a compliment in public. This guy, he's one of those authentic naturals. And he came at me by way of a 6-paragraph, 900-word comment about, how he was out there listening when I was having a bad day. And it's something that I'll never, ever, ever forget. And not that he's just a nice guy, everybody, but it's one of those natural things. You know it when you see it. I've seen it at Frank, for example, is one of those. And Mike, you are one of those where it's just the content and value isn't something that I imagine you do study, but it's not something that you have to study. It's just there. That's about the highest compliment I have for somebody.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I probably should study more because I'd be smarter.
There's a story to that. Well, I'll tell that one real quick. When we started Today I Can, I'm jumping out of sequence, but the grant business, and we made $2 million, and I figured it was time for me to buy a book on how to market.
Yeah.
The book I bought was Make Your Site Sell by Ken Evoy, and cut my conversion in half. I'm sure Ken's a great guy. It just didn't work for me. And then Marlon Sanders with my second book, and that really helped. And Marlon's around, selling books to this day. But, we don't want to make this a 2-week-long video. I'm Tom Bell, and had kind of a crazy ride through this life. I was homeless from, I was technically homeless for a few weeks, but I was on and off the streets for a few years, bad cocaine addiction. And it culminated one day I was getting ready to jump off a bridge, and something really nice happened that caused me to not want to do that. So, there's a story there. We can tell it another time, but I didn't jump off the bridge. I sold toys for a lot of years and wound up, I guess it was 97. I set out all my toy helicopters and it started raining. I was at a flea market in Indiana and it started raining. And I turned to the guy that worked for me and I said, I'm quitting and I'm starting an internet business and I'm never going to sell toy helicopters again.
Because of the rain?
Yeah, I was just pissed.
Because you're pissed, okay.
Didn't own a computer at that time and didn't have the first notion of what to do on the internet. And this is kind of important, I was a flea market seller and a special event seller. So what I knew was flea markets. And I said, where's the flea market online? And that was eBay. And then, an experienced flea market seller will say, where are the premium spaces? Where's the front row? And that would be featured auctions. And, this is just flea market intelligence stuff. And, back then you could sort all of eBay into a list. Can't do that now, too big. But I looked at all the featured auctions, and then I looked at all the featured auctions ending today. because in an auction, when it's ending, that the auction has run its course. It's a mature thing. I mean, you can see a wedding ring for $1 until somebody bids on it. But, you know, featured auctions ending today. And then I took out all the things that were one-offs, like grandma's wedding ring or, you know, anything that I couldn't go find in China, because with my toy helicopters, I could find things. And, you know, that made the list smaller. And then I got down to a list of 20 or 30 things, and it was all science. And that, you know, that's kind of the punchline towards the end of this hangout. I had a list of things, and then I found a product that I knew I could find wholesale. And there were, I think it was 11 people that were selling over 100 of these every day. And it was a cell phone antenna booster. Those little gold stickers from back in the 90s that were supposed to make your cell phone battery work better. And I think the biggest miracle in my life was I had this list of 11 people successfully selling the same thing. And God must have touched me on the shoulder when I realized that there was a number 1 on that list and there was a number 11 on that list. And I didn't know the first thing about writing an auction. Really, what we're talking about is a sales page. So I wrote an auction page, and I said more of what number 1 said and less of what number 11 said. Really, it's kind of horse sense, right?
Yeah.
$600,000 in 4 months.
Wow.
Selling cell phone antenna boosters for 1 penny and $4.99 shipping and handling. It was like the Beverly Hillbillies. I was watching Dallas and Dynasty on TV to figure out how to hang out with rich people.
Because you got pissed because it rained. I love it. That's great.
And, you know, we could maybe write a book, but, you know, that went, and we, so I had all these buyers from eBay, and it's 97, 98 now. And there was this brand new business that had just popped online with this brand new idea called ebooks. And the business was ClickBank. And I forget her name now, but I think it was Julie, the executive vice president. I think she's still there. She might have just left. But she was the receptionist at the time. And I was sending my buyers emails to buy ebooks. I mean, pretty revolutionary, right? It was in 97.
Yeah.
And she calls me one day and says, well, Tom, we have to close your account and take all your money because you're a spammer. And I called up and I said, well, these are buyers. It doesn't get any further away from spam than buyers. Who charged me with this? I can't tell you that, Tom. You're a spammer. You know, where's the complaint? I can't tell you, Tom. You're a spammer. She must have been reading from a script about what's with spammers. So I was exasperated. And finally I said, you know, Julie, if I called you a boy 10 times, would you become a boy? She thinks about it for a minute. She says, okay, Tom, you can have your money. So now that we're friends again, I asked her, well, who made this complaint? And she said, well, it's a guy that sells government grants. And he wrote a letter that went something like this. I usually sell 70 books a day on ClickBank. I've sold 270 so far. I am being spammed. The culprit is Today I Can. That was my ClickBank ID. His evidence that he was being spammed was he was selling too many books.
Wow.
Yeah. So Julie says, well, Tom, don't send him any more emails. I said, well, I can't fix that because, remember, this was before redirects. These were all naked links back in the 90s. So I couldn't help it. You know, the emails were delivered and people were seeing them in their inbox. So I sold another 100 books. He writes a second letter to ClickBank saying, not only is Today I Can a spammer, but I see that he's making commissions again. So he's a hacker too. I hadn't the faintest thought of selling grant ebooks. But that day I bought a print edition grant guide with resale rights, not PDF stuff. This is like, I had to get it in the mail. And I rewrote that sucker in 36 hours. And I launched the Today I Can grant guide in his honor and did $60 million in 4 years.
Wow.
Selling ebooks. So that the way that that kind of happened is, I mean, how does an idiot come into the ebook space and sell $60 million? The way that I guess the idiot good luck was the internet was brand new. There was no such thing as a landing page. And, you know, I hired a consultant, and, you know, this was after the 2 million, after I bought Marlon Sanders' book. Then I said, well, I guess I better hire a superstar consultant, because that's what, you know, $1 million businesses do. And, you know, I said, can we put, people were putting email opt-ins on full pages. The smaller, you know, unitized landing page hadn't been built yet.
Yeah, yeah.
I said, I want to put people's names on a page and keep it in an email database. My consultant says it's not possible. I had a coder who didn't believe in impossible, so we did it. So I guess that was the first landing page.
Wow.
And then I said to the same consultant, I said, I would like to use the first name on my landing page, on my sales letter. Collect it on the landing page, use it on the sales letter. We doubled conversions with that. Doubled. I mean, not 5%, double. It's a pretty big deal when you're selling thousands of books a day. So maybe a week later, we were selling grant guides, how to get government grants. I came up with this idea, and I said to my consultant, I said, you know, I'm going to ask people on the landing page why they want a grant. And then when they tell me, I'm going to customize my sales letter so that we're talking more about getting that kind of grant.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to get a grant to go to school, the sales letter was going to be all about how people are going to school with a grant. And just bless his heart, he told me that was impossible too. So we figured that out. And the end result of that is traffic was really stable. It was the dawning of the CPA network industry. I mean, they didn't call it CPA back then. Performance marketing or whatever. I had a guy that I used to buy his email list from. I ran that sucker 45 days straight with the same ad copy. He finally told me he had to quit. I was killing his list. But between the doubling of conversions with the first name and the doubling with customizing the sales letter, we just couldn't, nobody could keep up, nobody could compete with us. Not even Matthew Lesko. Now, Mike, you're a young guy. Do you remember Matthew Lesko?
Nope.
He was the crazy guy with all the question marks on his suit.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I know who he is.
At the time, he was the second most recognizable commercial character in the world, behind Ronald McDonald.
Wow. And you were beating him?
The man could never enter the internet. He couldn't do it. Our conversion was too good. I mean, we were selling books for $29 a piece, no back end, no upsells, no phone rooms. The phone rooms hadn't come into the picture yet, and we were making money. I mean, it was like a giant party, and this was kind of right in the middle of the bust, the .com bust.
Yeah.
We were going to .coms, and they were trying to sell us email runs for $5 CPM, and we'd say, "Did you run the list last week? No. Did you run it this week? No. All right. How about we give you 50 cents?" And we were buying emails for nothing.
Wow.
And as a result of that, we had really good conversions. We had all the traffic for grants, and the 1,800 books a day was during that period. And the thing that was for marketers now, what might even be sweeter than that is 1,800 books a day average for 18 months straight. And if my conversion moved 100th, like we were converting, say, 65% off the landing page, and maybe 7 or 8% from the page to the sales letter. If it was, say, 8.25%, if it moved to 8.23%, we could usually go into our process and find something broken. Like literally,
Wow.
a technical failure. Our conversion didn't move. The incoming traffic didn't move. It was like a field of dreams scenario. And yeah, it's fun to reminisce.
So what about today?
Good question. The
times have changed, my man. What do you got? Yeah.
Many can argue that the numbers have gone up.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So here's a phenomenon that's still true to this day, and it'll stay true. I call it the bell of the ball effect. So everybody's talking about niches, niche down until you win, right? Well, why not go for the mega niches? If you have an edge or an angle, synonymous with, pick a niche is acknowledge that you can't grab the master niche. Well, sometimes you can grab the master niche, right? Why not be Entrepreneur Magazine? Why not? And be at the top of it. So any offer, diet, dating, pickup artists, whatever, any offer category has a top offer. And those top offers are getting like 60% of the market. That's just the way that the commercial business works. If you can get to that top slot, there's a weird psychological effect that it's hard to push you off of that top spot. So even if your conversion, varies or things happen in your company, people won't not let you be the top dog. It takes a lot to get somebody kicked off the top spot.
Yeah.
And there's reasons for that. Like now in the CPA world, we call them publishers. In the affiliate marketing world, we call them affiliates. They're the same people. They're lazy. They have emailers, they set up their links, they have their schedule, and they want it to go out. They're not going to change their links every 5 minutes when somebody moves 1 basis point, right? So really? I can promise you that the top company in dating is making more money than I did in grants, or the top person in internet marketing, maybe, BizOp, diet pills, whatever. Those markets have all gotten bigger. So is it relevant today? Yeah. And the secret is, like, I scratch my head, Mike, and we're friends on Facebook. We see a lot of stuff go by, on the wall. Everybody's talking about traffic, right? Like it's always a traffic tool. I can tell you the secret to traffic. Want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
Anybody who's made $1 million plus will confirm what I'm about to say. The secret to traffic is build an offer that converts clicks into dollars well enough to pay the affiliates more than the next guy.
Yes.
That's it. If you're running somebody else's offers, somebody else is always going to make more money than you. I don't want to piss off any affiliate gurus, but you want to have your own offer. And you need to convert that offer better than the next guy. So you want to have all the tricks you can put up your sleeve as far as making your offer convert better. Now, you and I know that that's serving the customer's needs better, answering the big questions, healing the shark bites. And I like to use science wherever I could find it. How's that sound?
Healing the shark bites. I like that.
Yeah, some writer said it.
So how would you propose doing that? even the same or more numbers, 1,800 books average per day for 18 months.
How would I do it today?
Yeah.
Well, I would find a market that has idiot advertisers. Sorry, advertisers. I'd find a market that's big and that has an entrenched number one, and I'd figure out how to clean his cloth. I'm saying that in the nicest way possible. I'd outmarket the guy. Trust me. I mean, you know me.
So,
at 3 projects, I'm doing exactly that with.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what you just said stands true, basically. Do you just figure out how to market better and pay the publisher's affiliates more than the other guy, and you get the top spot?
That's it. Really, I mean, I'd like to sell a $20,000 course and make it more complicated, but that's how to do it.
Sometimes you got to sell a $20,000 course to make people have enough financial commitment to simplify it, because people don't understand simple. It's crazy. People want complicated because it's interesting, it's sexy, it's whatever, but simple is superior. Simple works, complicated doesn't. So yeah, I mean, that's you got it. It's pretty much it.
Sometimes when I go to these high-end masterminds where people are paying $20,000 to get in, I have this phrase, like, you can put everything at this mastermind on the back of a matchbook cover.
Yeah.
Right? Find out what people want and give it to them.
Yeah.
That's marketing on a matchbook, right? That's kind of cynical, but it really isn't much more than that. So I think the thing that's interesting is there's this advent of, and people are talking, another thing that, like, here's my list of stuff that drives me up a tree on Facebook. You ready? People putting stuff on a post, asking their friends to tell them which one is better from a marketing standpoint.
Instead of that, yeah.
My vote is for the one that wins the split test. Duh.
Yeah.
Don't ask your friends, split test it. And I guess the next one is funnels, right? Funnel software. Yeah, people need funnel software to put together their offers, but they're not talking about the stuff that matters. They're not talking about the copy, the offer, the value. If you're focused on the technology of the funnel and not providing the value to the end user, if you're not solving the problem, it's never going to work. Never.
Now, this is something I need to point out, because it's something that I think is overlooked a lot of times. As I'm getting a little bit older, I'm watching it happen, like with my kids, new generations. This is why the wisdom of the elders, so to speak, is so valuable, because you're just spitting out like what they spend thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, years of their life going through all this technology and all this crap to get back to what you just said, which is what old school mentality is. It's the copywriting is dead and no one reads this stuff and people's attention spans are 2.5 seconds and no one cares. And right. But if without doing what you just said, nothing happens anyway. It's like,
here's a cool piece of science for you, Mike, because you're right. The attention spans are getting smaller. I can tell you when I analyzed my way into a sales letter for eBay, back 15 years ago, whatever, I wasn't a good sales letter writer then. I'm happy to, all ego aside, I'm pretty good at it now. And when the attention span gets smaller, the copy has to get more concise. Like, the hardest copy in the world to write effectively is an AdWords ad, because it's small.
mm-hmm.
Be able to sell in like 4 words is a pretty hard thing if you're, really trying to be competitive. So yeah, copy is still important with the attention spans. And here's the thing that scares me, and it should scare the pants off of, the new folks, is there's like 100 new people that come into this industry I don't know the stat, but it's like 100 an hour, I bet, trying to sell the same stuff to the same people with the same lack of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Thing that kind of gets under my skin is people buy a book on marketing and they read the book and then they rehash the book and sell it.
Yeah.
And not well. I mean, if they're going to do that, at least write good copy.
Yeah. So tell me about your branched logic copywriting methods. What does that even mean?
Yeah,
fancy pants for saying something.
Hey, I'm down with coming up with a new name because I don't hardly understand it either. Todd Brown, or no, it wasn't Todd. It was John Benson did a little video, and that's what kind of prompted me to do this one. Is there's a lot of new funnel softwares coming out, and Todd Brown has one that I'm really excited by. So excited, I've been independently developing one for 4 months. He beat me to it. And it does what I was doing back in the 90s. It takes the user's desires and then customizes the sales path. This is the next big thing in funnels. No two ways around it. But what everybody's forgetting is you have to write copy for that. And the real skeleton in the closet is I've written copy for these type of offers. So when you're asking the user, what they're interested in, and then you wave a magic wand and customize the sales process based on their needs, and when you have email sequences that send people to the right place based on their retargeting pixel, I mean, that's all fine and dandy. But we're talking about an exponent in the amount of copy. So the very first thing to say is funnels that use this have 5 to 10 times the volume of words. Because with branched logic or choose your own adventure or custom funnels, you have to have the words for any given path that the user might take. So on the one hand, I mean, it's pretty plain to see that there's just a lot more words to be written. And copy scares a lot of people to begin with, right?
Yeah.
But what I've learned from writing a few of these funnels is they're also probably twice as hard to write. Because one sentence, when you're writing do you write copy, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
So when writing one sales letter, it's very important to have one thought flow into the other thought seamlessly. That's what good copy looks like, right?
Yeah.
Imagine any one thought having to flow into 6 different thoughts.
Sounds like my brain.
Right. And then the thoughts that come right after that have to flow into 6 different times. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Right? So now you have 3 paragraphs that, if you're not careful, aren't going to make the slightest bit of sense. Right?
So, okay. So how... Yeah, I think like that. I don't write like that, not per se, but my brain's always going crazy like that. So how do you do it? How do people do it?
You had to learn it the hard way. We wrote something called naming conventions, and you write the paths, and you're forever, saying the sentence before as you're writing the sentence, the variables for the sentence that you're writing now. It's almost like a pie chart. So we've suffered through it over the years. We've written, a few of these funnels, or I call them flows. But I got a little bit smarter than that. I'm developing a piece of software now that it doesn't write the copy for you. I do have a piece of software that does write the copy for people, but that's a whole other story. But what we do is you write the first part of the copy, and then right there is the box for the next part of the copy, and it has the sentence right above it. So when you pull up the next box to write, you have the sentence that came right before it, so you can put it in your mind, and it'll just flow into the variable or the branch. If that makes sense. Does that make any sense? Because it works in my head, but maybe I'm not great at communicating.
It does, but I think It's very, very interesting and very intriguing. And I think that, I guess the next logical question for me and for anybody else is, how do you learn more and have more clarity about it? Where's something we could learn how to do this? Because basically what you're saying is using one of these branch logic copywriting funnels, choose your own adventure type things. It's a better funnel. It converts better. It's more effective, more efficient, make more money, better business, all that stuff. But you got to be able to write that way, which seems like a daunting task, really, the way you're explaining it. But you said that you've got some assistance, some software, some ways to do this. How do you learn more on how to do this more effectively for people who don't know what the hell that it even is?
Well, it's funny you ask. But well, there's a couple of things. It's if I've made it sound hard, I mean, I'm going to break the biggest rule in internet marketing right now. Yes, it's hard. And if you're a competent copywriter, it's still hard. But there's ways to make it easier. Now, here's the good news. These funnel systems are being sold left and right. Everybody's buying funnels. And it's creating this explosion for copywriters. So if you do have the spark of copy, and here's another thing, like a mini rant, okay, Mike? I see some people out in the market that know what kind of money copywriters make. So they buy the books and they even do the work. You know, they really dedicate themselves to it, and they just don't have the spark of copy in them. It is what it is. But for the people that you know do have that creativity, and they just need the outlines and the formulas for writing good copy, period. I mean, that's one step. I mean, if you can write a sales letter that converts, I get 10,000 a letter, and I'm cheap. I mean, there's guys out there making 30 and 50,000, and everybody wants points if they're any good.
Right.
So percentage of the deal. So a good copywriter can make a lot of money. The reason that I'm excited is I'm doing this on my phone. It's, you know, we had our technical challenges setting this up. The reason I'm excited is I have 4 or 5 offers that I'm building, and they're all going to be on this new smart funnel branch logic because it's a secret weapon. Todd has a launch coming out. I mean, trust me, buy it. I don't even know what the price is yet, but I've burnt down too many industries using, you know, it's now called smart funnels, to not know that you're just not going to be competitive without it. And the people that are afraid of writing copy, go out and hire a competent copywriter, right? And because that's true, I mean, I know this might be a lot of words, but I have a lot of thoughts in the head, Mike. I need 6 to 10 competent copywriters right now that I don't have. I need to hire these people. So I said, how can I make it so that I can get some copywriters that are trained on this skill? Tom, here's a little unfortunate fact for you. This skill doesn't exist in the marketplace. Oops. Yeah. How do you put it on a classified ad, right? I need a copywriter for branch logic funnels. Right. It doesn't exist. Now, we both understand supply and demand a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So people who are experienced at branch logic funnels, and branch logic funnels being the only possible way to compete in the marketplace, that's probably going to put a premium on writers who can write like that, right?
Definitely.
So my lead copywriter and I both know how to write like that. So I've decided that I'm going to teach a course on the matter. It's going to benefit me, and it's going to benefit lots of people who want to learn how to write this particular discipline. So writing for smart funnels, that's the course. So
it's cool, man. That's actually, you have these crazy, simple, I don't know what the hell a limit is ideas, and you just spit them out, and they're normally all pretty damn cool. That was pretty cool too. I like it's interesting. I mean, to not. I've never taken a copywriting course in my life, but I'm a pretty decent writer. I'm not the best for conversions and stuff. If I learned the techniques and tactics, I'd be a lot better. But I like the creativity part of it. But to learn to have what you're saying with this branch logic funnels, and now you're going to train some people to, like, if you need copywriters. So what do? You make them. I'm going to go make them. But then,
yeah, I mean, if a couple of truths that you just can't escape is I believe 1,000% that once the smart funnel thing gets going, I mean, and here's the Tom is a real idiot statement. After today, I've done even more money selling in, the internet marketing and business opportunity space. I didn't build another smart funnel for that. I mean, I just didn't bother to do it because it was too complicated. Right. So That's kind of stupid. But with these people that are building these smart funnel builders, enough of the competitors are going to do it to reach a critical mass where you're going to have to do it if you want to if you want to be competitive at the large segment. And if you're a small guy with the niches, here's a little scary little Tony Soprano thing for you from a street smart guy, right? When you have a smart funnel and you're asking people why they want to do what you're selling and you're the big fish, every question you add becomes a niche. Let that sink in for a minute. So the big guys are going to not only rule at the big one-size-fits-all market, but they're going to not be one-size-fit-all anymore. Because with smart funnels, you have the benefits of the big fish and the little fish. Does that make sense?
It does. It's kind of exciting, kind of scary at the same time. I mean, you are very insightful with this industry. I mean, shit, dude, you sold helicopters at flea markets and came online and made $60 million without. I mean, you didn't have a computer. You got pissed off because it rained, and you started doing this whole thing, and you came on to be one of the predominant people and leaders in that industry, into this industry, and now you're saying the game's changing, and it's changing in a very, I mean, for lack of better words and not being soft about it, a very complex way. It's not simple. It used to be throw up HTML web page, slap some shit on there, put an order button on there, and you're done. You're making money. It's not like that anymore at all.
And you know what? I want to give an example to clarify something. Like back in the grant days, right? So, imagine we have our big business. We have 150 employees. Everything's hunky-dory. Now, I might worry about somebody who comes out with a grant product in a niche, like, how to get a grant to go to school, right? Now, he'll be niched, so I'll be a little nervous because he'll be serving the grant buyers who want to go to school better than me because he's focusing on, how to get a grant to go to school. I mean, that's how it works. The big player, like IBM, worries about the little guy who's going to build a gaming computer. Well, they used to. Now they're dead. But you see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm worried about that niche player. Now, when I put on my landing page, why do you want a grant? And one of my questions is, do you want a grant to go to school? And then I write a custom letter for that. I am the niche. You see how that works?
Yes, absolutely. You're dominating. I mean, so at that point, it just becomes who do you get in front of who gets in front of your stuff first. And,
Yeah.
and honestly, no, that's not just it. I'm thinking this through. It's honestly who gets in front of your stuff first, and who has better copy, who has more compelling copy, and solves these people's problem or enhances their belief that the problem can be solved with their product more. It comes down to really who gets there first, combined with who has better copy. That's what it seems like it's coming out. That's what I'm seeing. And I mean, this is the first time I've really heard of this stuff. So, I mean, I'm kind of on the fly learning what you're talking about. So it's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, here's something that's going to make I love when people say on sales letters, "This is going to piss off all the gurus." Here's something that really is going to piss off some of the gurus. You ready? Uh, it's going to make making money at any niche or any mega niche a little harder to do for the little guy, right? Now, I'm an abundant guy, and there's going to be a way to serve, like, hey, if we make it so that smaller players can't make money in IM, that's fine. We'll teach them how to be florists or create local leads or some other market, right? Because there's room for everybody.
Right.
But launching, those copycat Me Too guys, the ones who read a book and then write a book and think they're experts.
Yeah.
They're either going to have a very hard way of it, or they're going to have to invest in an expensive copywriter to write for a full-on smart funnel type flow. And those are expensive and difficult to build. So it's going to limit the market. Basically, it's going to kick a lot of idiots out of the market.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like it's like a forest burning itself down, kind of, to replenish with new fertile, healthy trees and stuff. That's kind of a silly analogy, but it kind of sounds that way to me, because there is a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, and in my experience, when people spend a fair amount of money and effort to build a product, they build it right.
Yeah.
So the quality is going to go up, and the service is going to go up to the end user, and that's where the real value comes from. You know that old Zig Ziglar quote: "The more people you help get what they want, the more you get what you want."
Right.
So it's going to be good for the market. So this copywriting thing, I need copywriters. And if somebody buys this course, I'm going to sell. I'm not going to promise them. I mean, if they aren't committed, if they don't have the same kind of work style as we look at all that stuff when we hire people. But there are going to be jobs. I need these right. We're out buying businesses right now on another front. We're buying offers that we can assimilate into smart funnels, because that's what we do. And I need writers to turn existing offers into smart funnels. So I have a lot of, writing to get done.
Yeah, and it's going to open up an opportunity for people. I'm sorry, go ahead. What?
No, the ones who come to work for us, great. And the ones that are entrepreneurs and want to use it for their own products or set up their own shops or, even work for us, piecework. I would say that the ability to write for Branch Logic is a 50% minimum premium. That, and you're writing 5 to 10 times the words per client. So if you're charging per word, which I do, they're looking at, maybe 7x on what they can bid a job out at.
Yeah.
So if you're an existing copywriter and you are buying into what I'm saying, 7x is not an exaggeration. Not for people who want to put on a real funnel.
What I'm seeing here, what I'm thinking about is you have this need, you're solving it because it doesn't exist by teaching people how to do something you know how to do. That's being, and just bear with me as I go through this in my own mind. It's being a skill that's being adapted to the changing marketplace, changing technology, changing style of how we're doing it, which is cleaning up an industry that's pretty friggin' messy as it is right now. So that's good. But then moving forward, it's the people that have this new skill set that are really going to thrive and prosper more so than people who have just said, no, I'm going to stick with my own thing. All that stuff will still work. It always does to some degree, but then the bigger wave to surf on, using that analogy, is definitely what you're talking about. And it's, what I'm doing is I'm trying to find out why you're wrong in my head. And I'm thinking,
I just love that.
And I can't, I can't. It's these new funnels. I've heard something of them, but I've never really seen it happen. I didn't see John's. I'm friends with John Benson. I haven't seen his videos or talked to him about this at all, but I'm going to.
Oh, you should hook us up. We're peripheral friends. I'd love to chat with him.
Yeah, I'm good friends with John. So,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, it's cool. So how do I do this? How do I learn? I mean, what do you got? You have any structure? I mean, 'cause I know that right now you're looking to basically build your army first, kind of. And if people
Well,
like if
yeah,
people don't want to do it, they can do, like you said, they do their own thing. But how do we say I want to do this? How do I do it? I just hit you up, Facebook. What? How do you do this?
well, yeah, we're going to do that. Before I forget, I'll throw this in. For all the people that don't think that this kind of change is coming down, uh, I'll always point out that Kodak made money for years after they made the stupidest business decision in history and had the guy who invented the digital camera in their company and told him no. Yeah. Well, hey, they still made money for a while until
Yeah.
they went out of business over it. I love that story. So I'm going to do a copywriting course. I'm going to charge $9.97 for it. It's informal. So we're going to post this on YouTube and Facebook. So PM me. And frankly, I'm not going to let anybody in. If I have to train somebody a copy from the, hopefully a teeny tiny little bit about copy, and we'll be polishing your skills. There will be interning. So these folks will be helping us write live projects for live clients, even if the client's us. So it won't be a frou-frou theory course. This will be put on by copywriters who write copy, and we sing for our supper. So if the copy we write doesn't work, we lose friends, lose money, or both. So if somebody's serious about learning copy, it's probably going to be a pretty valuable course. I'm thinking 6 or 8, modules, which we'll define. I mean, I just came up with this idea, today or yesterday. So it's going to be $9.97, informal, probably PayPal, and PM me. My personal email is Inspector Profit. There's 6 ways to spell it. I have all of them. inspectorprofit@gmail.com, or hit me up on Facebook. But there's more.
There has to be more.
There's more. So Todd Brown, who I have a lot of respect for. I mean, my ego won't allow me to not remind people that I've been doing this since '98, Smart Funnels. But he's got a course and I believe some software that is going to make building smart funnels very easy. And to me, that's the no-brainer of the century. I mean, I hadn't planned to sell Todd stuff, but I believe in people having this tool so much. And I also want to say in the same breath, so I can be honorable, that I didn't know Todd was doing this, but I happen to be developing something that I'm confident might usurp what Todd's doing. It'll certainly complement what Todd's doing, but I have a funnel builder of my own that customizes videos on the fly. So the statement, hello, friend, we have good dog food. Do you have a dog? That becomes, hello, Mike, we have great dog food for your German Shepherd. And we have specials for night owls like us. Now, I know that we're night owls because my software read their system clock. And we can quiz them out of what your name is and what your dog is. But yeah, we can. So a VSL is completely custom now, the video itself. That's my software. I think Todd's might do it. I don't know. But I came up with a way where everybody can win. And here it is. The copywriting course. I mean, I'm not going to throw in bells and whistles because if you get it, if you've been listening to the call, you know the value. And, even having a guy who can write copy really well that you can call on the phone is a pretty good idea. So the $9.97 is spectacular, I think. But that's probably half my ego. I don't know what Todd's course is going to sell for. I have no idea. But when somebody buys my copy course and they buy Todd's course, I will refund them the copy course.
Oh, wow.
So I'll get an affiliate commission from Todd's thing. I'm going to give them the copy course money back. Okay? And then I'll do them one better. Here's how I'll be able to sleep at night and stay friends with Todd, because I just told everybody that I'm building a competitive product. And Todd's will be out first. So buy Todd's product. It may be better than mine. We don't know. I don't know what his product is. But I will give you you'll have mine for free to compare it against. But either way, if people buy Todd's product, it's I believe it's called Smart Funnels. And I'm going to have a link, and we'll probably put it right in our Facebook post where we post this. If you buy Todd's product, I guess now my bonus package is a $997 course. And I promise you, I'll have people pay the price for that. And my software as a service, I'm not naming it yet because it's still under wraps, but I have a product that may be better than Todd's. It may not. I don't know. But I'm going to give it to you for free. So now you'll have two pieces of software at the cutting edge of Smart Funnels. So really, it's a really good day to be Todd Brown because I'm giving people a really, really good reason to go buy his stuff.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that's yeah. This is. I had no idea this was going to end up like this. This is cool. It's a cool video, cool offer.
We were messing around with Google Hangouts, you and I, trying to do this particular call. I mean, we're on Skype right now, but when we first started trying to do it, I hadn't thought of this idea.
Yeah, that's you though. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, Todd's a good guy, and the market needs smart funnels. So it's not about who makes what money. So I'll defer my product and just bonus it into people who buy Todd's stuff. So anything else? I mean, Mike, you had some. I mean, anything you want, I'm here.
Man, I don't know. It's a lot because this is new to me. So I think I don't know. I don't really have any. My brain's not making any questions because I don't know enough to ask. You know, I'm going to learn more. I'm definitely going to learn more about this, about the smart funnels and about the fancy, what do you call it, branch logic copywriting. That I have to rename that something that I can remember.
Hey, I'm down with a good brand, man. Yeah, hey, maybe we should do a split test.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. I think that, thank you actually, for even, we're just chatting and then here it is. And this whole new wave of marketing future just kind of got exposed. I watched John do that with VSL stuff. I mean, he and I, way back a long time ago, 8-9 years ago, he was reading a sales letter and he fired it over to me. He said, "Hey, when I'm reading this, does it, would you read it with me?" And it was, I mean, he kind of like pioneered video sales letters. John did way back in the day. And now if it's going this route, I've watched that happen, that evolution from print sales letters to VSLs. For now it's going from this route to VSLs to these smart funnels, or to funnels, not just VSLs, but funnels, then to smart funnels with customizable VSLs. It's like mind blowing. It's crazy. And I love it because it takes some sort of commitment. It can't be like that lazy and, like you said, what'd you call them? Where they rehash they read the thing and then they remarket it. Like, look, I'm a genius. I read this book, whatever. And
they deserve a nickname, but I don't know that there is one. But just read. If you go out and read a book and don't do the thing, you really have no business selling a book.
Exactly. Or coaching anybody or anything else. I don't think same thing.
And the way this is turning, it's, I hadn't even really put those two dots together until this call. But yeah, it's the barrier of entry is going to go up.
Yep.
And there's going to be a lot of people, like, I'm big on leverage and 80-20. Mm-hmm. So 80% of the people are going to think this really sucks. It's the 20 that are fit to make the money because they're willing to do the work. And if you step back and look at all this smart funnel stuff and customizing the message, really it's all about making the experience better for the customer. It's making it more personal, making it more engaging. I mean, this is all stuff that benefits the user. So if it benefits the user and it raises the barrier of entry to keep some of the we should name these people the rehashers.
The rehashers.
the rehashers out of the game, everybody wins, and the industry gets better.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
love it. I didn't. I had no idea this was going to turn this way, and it's kind of refreshing for me that it did, because I can't stand some of that stuff. To be frank about it, it's kind of annoys me. But yeah, man, I think it's great. So I think that, you know, I'm interested, obviously, but I think people that get this and see it need to take action now on it. I would say so, because I watch how fast this stuff evolves, and I can't think of. It doesn't matter whether you can do it for yourself or whether you're going to be for hire. If you don't know how, if you don't have those skills to do that stuff, then you're just going to fizzle out. It seems like, and I've watched it happen. Like, you know, here's a good example: the long form sales letter. It still works. I mean, it still works for certain things. It's still long form text based sales letters. They still work. But I don't know those exact statistics. The percentage of
Mike. Before I forget, I can help you out.
Yeah.
I just happen to have some fresh research up my sleeve. I'm putting together a launch and business opportunity. I'll just go ahead and like threaten. I'll just tell people what it is, because it's neat. Now I'm going to be looking right at your eyes. So look the camera in the eye when I tell you what this is, right? So my video customization software is what I call version 1, right? I have a version 0.5 that the user puts in their PayPal email, they put in their ClickBank ID, they choose a music track and a niche, and they press a button, and out pops 100 funnels, fully built, written, recorded by a voiceover artist, and turned into videos. And these funnels are all unique, no one identical to the other. And then it split tests itself into one.
What kind of sorcery shit are you talking about, dude? This is...
I kid you not. They optimize themselves down to one. At the press of one button and entering 2 pieces of data, a PayPal and a ClickBank ID. Is that or is that not the strongest BizOp offer in history?
What, are you going to Hogwarts and what's this is sorcery? It's not, that's not, is that real? Are you not joking? You're like being serious?
I'm not joking. I'll show you a demo.
Crap. Yeah, dude, please. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and the products are included. So the product for sale, they get 20 niches.
Oh my God.
Like 47 a month, but it's not released yet. Yeah, it's a wild new front. Hey, I mean, I'm a nut over augmented reality. Everything I'm doing now is leading us towards that friendly little red-haired girl who steps out from a pizzeria like 3 years from now, and you know she just is so nice, and she offers me a slice of pizza, a sample, and she won't be real. She'll be computer generated in augmented reality. She'll know exactly how to give me value, and I will buy that pizza.
Yeah, wow.
That's where all this is heading. Yeah.
Here comes my poodle, my lap dog, my pit bull. He thinks he's a poodle, lap dog.
I was gonna say, that's some poodle.
What's up, Rocky? All right, good boy. Thank you. Go on. Anyway, yeah.
But I'll just recap. Copywriting course for now. The old school copywriters who think that, you know, a marquee and a reputation is going to save them if they don't get branch logic. It's going to be sad to see that one. It's going to be hard to watch. But anybody working in copy really needs to get this branch logic flow stuff. If you've never tried copy, if you're a business owner, if you want to learn it right the first time for the new way of doing things, this would be good. And you can get it for nothing, really, just for doing what you should be doing anyway, and that's buying Todd Brown's course. Or I'm guessing that Todd's course is going to be more, and I don't know. But you know, you can buy my course, great. And either way, you're set. If my software is better, if Todd is better, either way, you're going to get both. Just buy Todd's stuff. Really, that's it. And his launch is, I think it's in 3 days from when we're making this video.
Cool. And you have a link for that?
It'll be right under this video when we post when we post on Facebook.
Perfect, man. Right on.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, hey, thank you for this. I mean, we'll have to chat more about it and other things, among other things, because it's also interesting to me. And normally I'm not interested in this kind of stuff. So appreciate your time and your insight and your sorcery and your wizardry and your crystal ballish visions into the future and shit. Because it's crazy how accurate it is. It's nuts. It's awesome stuff. So, all right, my man.
All right, brother. Hey, it's been a pleasure. It's just fun to talk to you in the first place, but I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
All right, bye.
See ya.